precious heart. Thank you for joining us for our weekly vlog. Today, the company of heaven will continue bringing us greater clarity about the divine mission Jesus and Mary Magdalene fulfilled as avatars of the Piscean age. This is important for us to understand because it is a critical part of what we must each do now to fulfill our own divine missions. So please center yourself within the divinity of your heart flame. And as you watch this vlog, ask your I Am Presence to help you see with new eyes and hear with new ears. From the time eons ago, when we inadvertently created our fragmented and fear-based human ego, that aspect of our fallen consciousness has been fighting tooth and nail to convince us that we are worthless sinners and worms in the dust. The intent of that blatant lie was to prevent us from remembering that in truth we are beloved sons and daughters of God, and that all our Father, Mother God have is ours. Unfortunately, for millennia, our egos were very successful. That is why, when the avatars came during the dawn of each new age, we did not accept that they were here to demonstrate to us what we must learn to do for ourselves in order to reverse the adverse effects of our fall from grace. Instead, our ego convinced us that the avatars had come to save us because we were too evil and worthless to be able to save ourselves. Of course, nothing could be farther from the truth. In fact, no one can save us, and that lie is exactly what prevented us from grasping the true message of the avatars. Jesus and Mary Magdalene were very aware of our ego's deception, and they were determined not to let humanity's egos interfere with their message. At the age of 33, Jesus and Mary had completed the mission of anchoring the divine matrix and archetypes for the return of our Mother God and humanity's return to Christ consciousness. 33 is the master number that reflects the Christ made manifest. There is a lot of discussion at this time as to whether Jesus was actually crucified and whether or not he resurrected his body. Jesus and the company of heaven have confirmed that both of those events did occur and were vitally important to the fulfillment of Jesus and Mary Magdalene's divine plan. Contrary to the guilt-inducing things we are often told, the reason Jesus was crucified was not to save us because we are so evil we cannot do it for ourselves. Our Father, Mother God gave each of us the gift of free will, and no one is allowed to do this for us. We are each responsible for how we have used our gift of life. We lost the awareness of our own divinity through our free will choices and the misuse of our creative faculties of thought and feeling. Consequently, the only way we will return to Christ consciousness is through our own endeavors. We must open our hearts and invoke the return of our Mother God, and we must follow the path of oneness and divine love that Jesus and Mary Magdalene modeled for us. Jesus agreed to be crucified in order to prove to the world that we are not just our physical body, and that there is nothing the fallen human ego can do to our body that will destroy the divinity within us. His crucifixion and resurrection proved that even if one's physical body is abused, tortured, and crucified, the Christ within each of us is eternal and lives on in our light body. After Jesus' crucifixion and his resurrection into his light body, he had one more very important truth to reveal to humanity. It was obvious that the children of God had been beaten down into a consciousness of unworthiness. Jesus realized that because of this low opinion of ourselves, the chances were great that we would misunderstand his mission as we had the previous avatars. Jesus and Mary came to anchor the archetypes for the return of our Mother God and to demonstrate the path of oneness and divine love that each of us must follow if we are to return to Christ consciousness. Jesus knew that our lack of trust in ourselves was overwhelming and that the potential was great that we would misconstrue his mission. He was very aware that our egos would try to convince us that Jesus was divine in ways that we, as sons and daughters of God, are not, and that therefore we do not have to do anything because by his presence alone, Jesus has saved us. To try and avert that misconception, Jesus' final demonstration was designed to clearly reveal to humanity that he cannot save us and that no one is saved simply because he was here. Jesus' final demonstration left an example to prove that no matter how much we love him or how dedicated we are to him and his teachings, we are each responsible for our own